What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with a review for Delilah, Season 1, Episode 3. The episode was titled Sometimes Apart. All right, you guys. So, overall, good episode for me. I enjoyed it. I'm enjoying Delilah. And you guys might be asking, JB, why are you doing all the hand movements? I'm trying to burn some calories. So I have a goal of reaching 600 calories a day. So right now I'm at 550 and I have until midnight to hit 600. I've hit my exercise for the day of 30 minutes. I'm at 42 minutes. And then I had a standing goal of 12 hours. I've stood for 15 hours out of today. So we're trying to reach this goal. So yeah, without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and just get into this episode review. Excuse me, y'all, I didn't mean to burp in your face. And I might be glistening because I'm sweating. But let's go ahead and jump into the review, shall we? All right, you guys. So this episode, it opens up. You guys remember last episode, Delilah got the text message from Tamara saying, that Gary was showing those risque photos of Leah. I didn't realize that one of them was Leah in her towel. So Delilah's like, Leah, I asked you straight out when you first came here, were you having an affair with Gary, with what is his name? Fred. And you told me no, so why did you lie to me? So Leah's whole thing is she didn't feel like it mattered. And I'm like, Leah, you didn't feel like it mattered. But you're sitting here trying to say that this man wrongfully terminated you for asking questions about Gary Shea. It absolutely matters because, they could come back and say, oh, did you know that your client was having an affair with my client? Like, it 100% matters in this case. So Delilah asked her, when did you meet Gary Shea? Not Gary Shea, but Fred. So she said they met 6 years ago online. So Delilah says, did he ever pay your rent? She says, no, I guess it was a game of semantics with Leah because it was a game of semantics because she said, did he pay your rent? No, that wasn't part of the deal or the arrangement, but she said he did pay her rent and some other stuff. So she says, so how did you start working for him? She says, well, when his last assistant quit, he told me to come work for him because he wanted me to no longer have to do what I was doing to make money. So I went and worked for him. So she said, okay, cool. How long did the relationship continue after that? She says, well, the relationship ended a year after that when he found someone else that would, someone else to take her spot. So there's also a reporter. You guys remember in the last episode, she was going to set up for a reporter to talk to Leah to get Leah's, put Leah's stuff out there. So the reporter does show up and, they start talking and, Delilah's phone is going off at this time. And it's Nate calling her. So she ignores it. And, they're talking about the C-15 radios. And, and the reporter says, I'm assuming you didn't know anything about that. She was like, I did not. So then once again, Nate calls and, Delilah's like, okay, I'm going to step out and I'm going to take this, but pause that and don't ask any more questions. So Delilah goes outside. She's talking to Nate. She's telling Nate like, yo, it's not a good time. And Nate is talking about the fact that Christine said that Delilah came over to the crib the last time yelling at her about Dion. And Delilah's like, that's not what happened. I'm like, Delilah bust his bubble, to be quite honest with you. So then when Delilah goes back inside where Leah is, Leah has opened her big ass mouth and is blabbing to this reporter. So the reporter leaves and, Delilah's like, I'm going to call your boss and I'm going to have that handled. So another woman comes in. She's like, Delilah Connolly? She's like, yeah. She's like, I'm the reporter. And Delilah was like, oh, damn. What has happened? And Leah's like, maybe I should have kept my mouth closed. You think, Leah? Leah's going to get on my nerves. I can already see that. So then we later see Delilah. So Delilah is talking to Mace and they're trying to figure out who this woman is. So luckily enough for Delilah, she has cameras outside of her office. So the cameras were able to see who the woman is. And with this, facial recognition, Mace was able to find out who the woman is. And we found out that the woman is an actress. So they're trying to figure out who sent her. Delilah believes that Tam sent her. So when they do find out that the actress does work for, for someone in Tamara's office, so now Delilah is 100% upset with Tamara. So I'm gonna pause here and then we're gonna move forward. All right, so Delilah called Tamara. Tamara was in her office, and Delilah's like, Tamara, how could you do that to me? Like, that's really janky that you sent this actress to, talk to Leah. And Tamara's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And while they're talking, Tamara got an email from Wynn, and it was the audio footage. She says, hold on, let me play this. So she plays it, and like I said, it's the audio footage of Leah talking to the reporter slash actress. And Delilah's like, really, Tamara? And I'm thinking to myself again, I'm like, I really don't believe that this is Tamara. So then Tamara goes to Wynn's office and she's asking him about the report. He says, yes, I did send the actress there to talk to Leah, because when it comes to this case, your friend is the opposition, and I didn't think that you would have what it takes to get a one-up on her or whatever, because he was talking about another case that she did, and she went to the to the ends of the earth to get the evidence that she needed. But with this, because Delilah's her friend, he feels like why would you put her on this case if you feel that way? I mean, obviously it might be a conflict of interest. Why would you put someone on a case knowing that their best friend is working the other case? And then you're gonna go do sneaky and underhanded things. Yeah, Wynn. I got my good eye on Mr. Wynn. Something's off with Wynn. But I do like the fact that Tamara put him in his place. I do like that part. So we're gonna move on, you guys. All right, you guys. So then we see Delilah. So Delilah went to the VA hospital and she's going to see Nate. So she's telling Nate about, the last time she went over to Christine's house and how Andre was there. So Nate says, Andre and Christine are just friends. And I'm like, you didn't see the body language with those two. There's clearly something going on between Andre and Christine. And he's saying, but he introduced us together. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? He introduced you to your wife. Oh, that doesn't mean he can't sleep with her? Have you not seen? Okay. That don't mean a lick of nothing. I love the fact that Delilah read into him, but Nate's ego is so fragile that he couldn't handle the truth about what she was telling to him. I kind of wonder if Nate probably suspects something, but he's playing the fence at this point. And then, she was telling him about, the situation with, Dean. I think that's what really tripped him up, when she was telling him to be a father, like, step up and do what you got to do, because your wife is putting a hole in your son's heart with her, she's digging her heels in. First of all, the fact that she doesn't want to take Dion in, I'm like, that is your child. You gave birth to him and you don't want your child back. That's a big red. And that's the other thing. Why doesn't Nate think about that? What is so bad that Christine does not want to take her child back that she carried and gave birth to? What's the issue with that? Like, is Nate not thinking? I'm starting to wonder if maybe Nate is blaming himself for what happened when he went on his last tour. And we're going to talk about that tour in a little bit as well. But I'm just thinking about that. So he tells Christine, like, you know what? You can leave. So she leaves. So then we see Christina's having dinner with, at this point it's just Maya and it's what just happened? Because I didn't hit my goal. This thing vibrates a lot, and I don't ever know why it vibrates, but whatever. So she's having dinner with, see, there I go again. Oh, you're close to, you are, Gerald, you're so close to closing your move ring. I know that. I'm trying to move. Would you let me move? Thank you. Where was we at? She's having dinner with Maya and with, what's the little boy's name? Dion. So Maya is telling her about meeting with Miss Virginia the next day. She's like, can she meet me another time? And, Maya gives her a little attitude. She says, okay, I'll be there. So then Marcus comes in late and she was like, Marcus, where were you? He says, I was at the park. I'm like, damn. I mean, you know what? I guess I can see a little bit of myself in Marcus. I prefer to tell people the truth than to lie to you. That's my number one thing. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys that I don't lie, because that would be a lie in itself. But I pride myself on being honest more than I do a lie. Like I would rather tell you the truth. You could hate me or hate me or love me, but I'd rather tell you the truth than to tell you a lie and then you find out and you be like, why would you lie to me about that? The type of lies that I prefer to tell is a white lie. If I want to spare somebody's feelings, which I don't really do that either, but he didn't lie to Delilah until he told her straight up where he was. So, he says, well, Dad lets me go to the park. And I knew what she was saying, right? I figured out what Delilah was talking about. The fact that you're a black man, you're at this park at night, it's not a good look. The cops could come up to you, anything can happen. So I'd rather you be safe than sorry. But let's move on, you guys. Or should we move on? Yeah, let's move on. I've been talking for a minute. All right, you guys, I think I'm gonna make the goal tonight because I am at 577 and I need 600 calories. So I think we're gonna make the goal. And it's like really hot, but it's all these lights in front of me. Like I got one light over here, one light right here, and one light right here. Hotter than hell. But let's move on. So after Delilah had the conversation with, Gordon about, not Gordon, but Marcus about where he was, she then called Gordon. She's saying to Gordon, like, she doesn't want Marcus at the park after dark because I guess maybe a week or so ago, a kid got killed at the park. And she doesn't want that for Marcus. And, Gordon is trying to give her, well, Marcus is not that kid. True enough, he's not that kid because number one, he's alive. Number two, we don't even want him to be in that situation where he could be that kid. Like, I don't understand how Gordon didn't get what the hell she was talking about. Like, she's saying, I'm pretty sure the kid that got killed, prior didn't think he would be in a position like that. But unfortunately, he did. Like, I can think of the long list of people that we screamed, Black Lives Matter for. They didn't expect to be in situations like what they were in and got killed by the cops. So, Gordon, you can miss me with the BULLSHIT. So, they talk about him. She's like, she told him they got to get their stuff together, basically. He lied to her about what she was like, I don't even know what you're doing over there. He's like, what do you think I'm doing over here? She says, I don't know. He says, well, I'm over here grading papers. And Lil Mama's in the background. I'm like, ooh, Lil Mama, you should feel molded because he is not telling Delilah about you for a reason. Don't know what it is, but Lil Mama ought to feel some type of way. Lil Mama ought to feel some type of way. So then we see Casey. He's talking to Tam, and he's telling Tamara that, because she's looking out over their patio, their balcony, and he's telling her, why don't you call Delilah? And she's like, I don't know what to say to her. And she's like, they go inside, and she's like, it should be a crime to impersonate somebody. So then Casey tells her about a time that he and his friend impersonated some architects to see a place. And she wanted to, ask him how did he do that? But instead, Casey had other things in mind, mainly getting that in. So then we see Delilah. So Delilah's at the crib. And you guys remember in the last episode when she went to the dinner party that Casey and Tam had, they introduced her to Jamal, the guy that was making the pizza. So Jamal calls Delilah. And she's like, what, right now is not a good time, which I didn't understand why she said right now wasn't a good time. Because I know she was talking about the case between, this case and her and Tamara, but I don't know what that has to do with you and Jamal. That was why I was confused at. What does it have to do with? I didn't understand where one had to do with the other, but whatever. So he says, okay, well, how about I give you a call back, once this all blows over? And she was like, okay. And then he was talking, they were talking about praying, and He says, okay, how about I reach back out to you in a month? She says, I'd like that. I would like that too. Delilah, hop on that ASAP. I'm ready to get ASAP. Like, you better hop on that. Hop on that. Hop on it. Let's move on. All right, you guys. So we see Harper. So Harper is pulling up to the office, and outside of the office is early Demetria Barnes. So I was looking at this. I'm like, Demetria is gonna be a handful for old Harper. So Delilah finally comes into work. Now Harper showed Demetria where she's gonna be working at. She was like, "This is it," and she was like, "I don't like the way this is. I don't like the way that." I'm like, "Oh yeah, she's gonna be a pain in the you know what for Harper." So like I said, Delilah comes into the office with those files that she has that she got from Cindy Shay, and I'm thinking to myself, Rox on her video last week said it, and I thought about myself. Why is Delilah taking those files to her office? You've already saw what they're capable of. You already saw what they're capable of. They sent an actress to your office to talk to Leah. Why do you have these damn files here? It makes no sense, Delilah. Take the files somewhere else. Why you got these files here? So the one thing I will say about Demetria is she's very knowledgeable about, the businesses, because, Delilah talked about Gary Shea, and she was like, oh, XYZ, Fred, she was talking about all that stuff, because she said she studied the local businesses. And then Delilah was like, okay, well, what I want you to do is I want you to scan these, and I want you to some kind of stamp these. And she was like, stamp them? She was like, they have this M90, MD5 or something like that. And she was like, yeah, I'm an old school girl. Stamp them for me. So then when she leaves, she asks Harper, what is MD, whatever it was. And she was like, oh, this is new filing system, And she was like, I'm like, yeah, you got your good eye on her. So then we see Nate. So Nate is at the VA hospital, and he's making a phone call, and he's telling someone he needs help with dealing with Delilah. And I'm just like, you need help dealing with her because she told you the truth about your wife? Is that what the issue is? Because she told you the truth about your wife and about yourself. People can't handle the truth. I've actually learned that the hard way. That when people say, you can be honest with me, they don't mean that. I learned that the hard way. And that's why I tell them, when it comes to my friends, I always tell them, like, don't ask me for my opinion. Don't ask me my opinion if you're gonna get your feelings hurt. Like, that's the one thing I don't want. I hate when people ask me, what do you think it is? Like, what's your opinion? And then they get upset when you give it to them. But Delilah, he didn't ask for her opinion, but I'm just saying. I just hate when people say, tell me the truth. Okay, I wish you would stop. I guess you're telling me that I'm getting close. I got 10 more. Yep. I'm about to close all my mobile rings. You ain't got to keep telling me. Like, calm down. Calm down. Let's pause here and move on. All right, you guys, let's talk about Lil Mama. So Gordon is at the crib. He's on a FaceTime call with, I guess, a student. So he hangs up the phone call. Lil Mama goes over to him and she asks him, well, actually, I guess Lil Mama don't live with him. So wherever Lil Mama lives, her landlord is about to sell the place. So in about 3 weeks, Lil Mama ain't gonna have nowhere to stay. So Lil Mama's like, can we revisit? So he's like, so you want to revisit moving back in here with me? She was like, yes. Lil Mama, let's talk real quick. He's playing you for a fiddle. Like, seriously, the man is playing you. And I don't know how you don't see that. You just a piece of T and, well, I should have said T and A for him. That's all you are. Nothing more, nothing less. So he's reluctant, and he's telling her that they can't move in together because Delilah doesn't know that they're back together. And I was like, You guys remember in last week's episode, Delilah said that he cheated on her with one of his students. So I'm assuming Lil Mama right here is one of the students. Lil Mama is stupid. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Lil Mama is dumber than hell. So then we see Delilah. So she shows up late to a meeting. Actually, we see Maya. So Maya is with Virginia, and Virginia is asking, "So where's your mom at?" And she's like, "Let me call her." But as she's getting ready to call her, Delilah comes in. So then we see, Delilah and Virginia talking. And you guys remember, Virginia wants to give Maya free lessons, which I'm with Delilah. There's got to be a catch in this somewhere, somehow. Why are you so intent on giving my daughter free lessons? And Virginia tells her that she sees potential in her, and she just wants to hone in that talent and craft it. And Delilah was still reluctant, but eventually Delilah gives in and she's able to get the free lessons. I still feel like there's something to it. Nobody does anything for free in life. Like, I don't know. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say nobody does anything for free. It's very rare that you find people that are doing anything just out of the kindness of their heart. So, I mean, I guess. So yeah, we're going to move on and we're going to wrap the episode up. All right, you guys. So I'm sorry about all the hand movements tonight, but I'm really trying to reach this. We had 594, so I'm really trying to reach this before midnight. I tried last night and I was at 584. So we see Harper. So she's leaving for the day, and she goes by. She checks on what's her name again? Demetria. Demetria has redone the office. Looks nice. So she says, she got her keys. She'll lock up when she leaves. Now, you remember Delilah told her, and actually I forgot to mention that Delilah told her when she does all the stuff, put things back the way they were, and put on some gloves. 597. Put on some gloves. So she had the gloves on, and she was looking through one of the files, and her face was like, "Oh crap, what did I just find?" So then we see Delilah. So Mason's at Delilah's crib, and she tells him that she hired someone to work for her, and he was like, she must be something special. She was like, "How do you know she's a woman?" He was like, "Cause you can't get a man to do it." What did he say? I forgot what he said. I forgot how he said it, but it was like no man could work for her, but him. So then her father comes over. So that's who Nate called. So Nate called her father to come and pick up Dion, and Delilah was like, "Absolutely not." And her dad was, so she went in because he started playing the law game with her, and so she went and talked to Dion, and Dion was like, "I don't want to go." So she goes outside and tells her dad, "No, he's not going anywhere. He's staying right here with me." So then again, the doorbell rings, and it's Tamara showing up this time. And, Tamara, I figured, so Tamara is trying to skirt around everything that's going on with she and Delilah at this point, because she wanted to talk about the fact that, Delilah turned down a date with Jamal. And then she's talking about the fact that she did not send that actress. So Delilah was like, "Okay, well, who sent her? Was it Wynn? Was it someone else? Who was it?" Tamara still doesn't want to answer this question. And all Tamara wants to do is just basically put a Band-Aid over all of this stuff. But I'm actually with Delilah. That's not going to work, Tam. Like, that was like, I'm going to file with the ethics board for what happened. Like, I'm not, I get that you didn't do it, but that ain't cool. So, like I said, Tamara just wanted to put a Band-Aid over the situation. So Delilah tells her, "You know what, Tamara, my dad just came over here, tried to take, Dion from me. Like, I can't do this with you right now, Tamara. I cannot do this with you." So Tamara, she left, and she looked really sad. And I felt bad for Tamara. Like, this is going to be a sticky situation when it comes to their friendship. I feel like one of them needs to, I hit all three goals. So I feel like one of them needs to just sit down, and I don't know what's going to be able to happen with this. One of them might have to drop the case, but I know Delilah's not going to drop off of the case. And I just don't see that Tamara will, as ambitious as Tamara is. I just don't see it. So then Demetria comes over, and so what Demetria found is she found a lot of files, and Gary, and all the files, it says equipment malfunction, and then she also shows her this one file on Nate, and his was equipment malfunction as well. But Delilah was like, but he told us he got ambushed. I'm like, ooh. But see, I actually was thinking about that this whole time, since this first episode, when we found out about these radios. I was wondering that, did what happened to Nate have anything to do with these radios? And looks like it may have. But that's the episode, you guys. Be sure to like this video, leave your comments in the comment section below, and subscribe to the channel. And hit that bell notification button so you guys are aware of when I drop anything else. And also go over and subscribe to the Planner channel. And stay safe, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Remember, wash your hands, wear your mask, social distance, and we will get through this together. And I will see you guys in the next one, which is the Oval. Bye, guys.